So a few days ago, I made a video on Cross, which was Brawlhalla's most forgotten legend. However, there was this legend, Caspian, that you guys were saying is actually the true most forgotten legend. I personally don't think so still. I mean, he wasn't... Cross does have, like, more recent history with Boomy playing him in summer 2019. You guys pointed that out, I saw. However, I just think Cross overall has more value when played. I don't want to say when played, but overall I think Cross like can bring more to the table, and that's why to me that character seemed to be quite forgotten, because I've seen Caspians like in ranked and stuff. I just never see any sort of Cross anywhere. But the Boomy point was really good. I think the last time we saw a Caspian was actually... Oh, he's dead. Last time we saw Caspian, I think was Wilson, when Wilson was playing. He played Caspian, I think, like losers finals of final round, which, yeah, it is a few months before. That was the first LAN of 2019. That was really interesting by Wilson for sure. With that being said, though, like, okay, I don't think Caspian's a bad legend by any means. I just think that between not having like a very solid kill confirm, you do have D-Light recovery on Gauntlets, but that's kind of a spotty one. It doesn't have like a ton of force, and you know, going for like a GC D-Light or setting up a perfect scenario where you can hit D-Light into recovery on the ground is kind of hard and just not as good as like a sword D-Light recovery or hammer stomps air, which is, you know, which is I think a big reason why people play him, because there's just better options right now as far as killing, and just there's more like variety, because both these weapons are practically the same in what they do. They are both the closest range string weapons in the game, and I think matchups for them are somewhat similar. So, oh, we got him. Nice. Oh, it didn't kill. Yeah, that goes what I'm talking about with recovery. Like, look at the health right now. Like, that's pretty deep red. It is Nyx, to be fair. However, it is quite... That is quite late to be not killing. Okay, D-Sig over edge. I think another thing people, like, don't acknowledge with this character is the fact that the signatures are actually pretty good. Maybe some do, but I just think that people see the Qatar's gauntlets and they don't even get to looking at the character's signatures at all, which is so incredibly important. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, I'm not a... Okay, here's an example from me. I'm personally not a fan of Onyx. I'm not a fan of Cannon that much, right? Not to say I don't enjoy it, but it's like, it's definitely an acquired taste. Like, it's taken me some time just playing it to get used to it. However, Onyx has insane sigs, and I play Gauntlets, so it's kind of stupid for me not to consider at least the idea of playing the character at all. All right, we'll let him get a weapon. Gave it taunt at the beginning. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth, like, any character, even if you're not 100% down. Like, say you're a Qatar main, but you don't really like Gauntlets. Just, you should still maybe, it's like, okay, well, you can still play Qatars most of the time. However, then just, like, look past that. Look past the fact that they have Gauntlets and look at the, like, SIGs. Because fat chance that there's definitely, like, a hidden gold mine. And that's kind of how I feel about with Caspian. Not like a gold mine. I'd say more like silver mine, which is still pretty good, you know. But is he gonna stay on that platform? No, it's not. I was gonna say. Oh, they're dead. But like the Gauntlet Sigs, all of them are pretty like close range, and they're not like slow or anything. I really like using N-Sig a lot. I think that is possibly the best Gauntlet Sig. Because you can look, like, I literally was able to attack before it was even over, and that's pretty good. Like, the fact that there's a threat out and I'm able to already like basically have 2 threatening things out at the same time, 2 moves. And then there's a little bit of variation when it comes to the guitars. The side sig, I think, is easily the best one on the character. Like, I don't think anyone's really gonna put that in question. Oh, I could have possibly comboed. We gotta find another combo. Maybe we can do it here. Oh, there we go. But yeah, like side sig has a lot of range. It's really good for edge guarding. D sig I think is a little undervalued, but I understand why people don't really like it and like think of it's kind of bad, which I don't blame them because it is like the worst sig on the kit. N sig's like there. It's not bad by any means. It's just like a good anti-air. They're pretty solid. And then oh no. And then on the side sig though, it just hits super close in stack, so it's like easily the best guitar sig on the character, without a doubt. The gauntlet ones though are a little I think closer in balance, which to me means like they're all good. It's not just like one sig in particular that's really nice. Oh, is he gonna come up? Oh my gosh, I almost got the D-light. No. All right. Yeah, like I'm able to lay down so many things. They're dead. Nice. So like any gauntlet or a guitar character, there are like certain setups you can do with Caspian. On gauntlets, I think it's a little harder to do because a lot of the times you can do like, if you catch them with like a nair or something, like say you hit sidelight, nair, and then you can sometimes do like a sig follow-up. On Caspian, I feel like his sigs aren't really as good for that sort of thing. I feel like they're just kind of like, I don't want to say you can just throw them out in neutral more, but to me that's what I get, at least with like N sig. Side sig though, I think like after N light is pretty solid. He's just not a character I've like lagged a ton, but there's definitely like certain scenarios, except the main issue is that they're all like really close. Nothing really has much range on it, on the sigs. D sig's good for edge guarding. And then guitars I think have more practical applications for the sigs, as far as like how you work them in with like strings and stuff. Like right there, I tried to do side light into side sig, and then also I just used it to keep my distance. I don't think there's a single move in the game that's gonna be able to get past that, unless they like do a well-timed bow D-light, maybe. Where's he gonna go? Oh, almost. I think I could have done dare. Okay. That was very interesting. I think that, I don't even know what happened there. I think that's some sort of bug with weapon throws. Like I got hit as soon as I hit him, and then like the force basically inverted. It's very strange. I've had it happen to me before. It's not a good feeling. I've mentioned it to the devs before. I hope that it's something they look at, because that would be quite the way to lose. Okay. Oh, he's no dodge? I think also something to note, Caspian's just like, I want to talk more on like his weaknesses, because he's definitely a character that, because he shares similar weapons, he definitely has similar weaknesses. Guitars and gauntlets, I think both have some problems into very specific weapons. I think hammer is a big one, and right now hammer's super prominent. So that's definitely a very dangerous thing. I think cannon into gauntlets is not super favorable. Oh, okay. You know what? I'll drop a stock too. I think cannon into gauntlets is not that great. However, cannon's not really super played, so you don't really have to worry about it. Then also, guitars into cannon, I can see it being problematic, but at the same time, I think Katars can... He almost had it. They can make it work. Another one, I think the only other big one that I can really think of is Bow. Bow for Gauntlets is probably, alongside Cannon, the worst matchup for it. Because on Bow... Okay, on Gauntlets, the only... Like, you have no range coming down, right? Like, this is the only range you have coming down. So a lot of times you have to rely on, like, a weapon throw. Or just you have to move out of the way, which is probably smarter. No! I'm dead. And on Bow, you have things like Endlight, Nair. You can catch landings with Sidelight pretty easy. So, it's very dangerous territory, for sure. So if you, like, Yumiko is a perfect example, like, of a legend that has bow and hammer, and is currently in the meta. So if you run into a Yumiko with Caspian, I think that's probably, like, absolutely the worst character you could play into it. Other than that, I think Katars, Gauntlets don't really have any super bad matches, but those two in particular, bow and hammer, are really, really dangerous. The last thing I want to cover, though, before I end the video, are the stances. So, deck stance, absolutely not a take. Defense stance, if you play this character in twos, you're probably going to want to take it. Strength doesn't mean a ton. On these weapons, it might help some. However, I don't think it's worth giving up a speed for. Maybe it is. It's not going to be too detrimental, but 8 force is pretty nice. Speed, you're giving up a dex, and on Katars, from what I've heard, dex is, like, pretty good. However, I think Caspian can't even really get that high dex buff that you're going to get with Katars, so I don't think it really matters. So if you want to run speed stance, you could without much problem. The best stances, really the only one to stay away from, I think, would be dexterity, because you're not going to be wanting to run around with 3 for sure. But base, defense, strength, and speed are all honestly solid. He's a well-rounded character in stats, however, his weapons are basically the same, except one's a pair of blades, the other's a pair of fists. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next time.